Hi guys, it's Chris here from It's Just Cricket, and today I'm having a continued look at the Ganador cricket range of batting pads specifically. We've already had a look at the Pro and the King, and now we're working our way down the range to the more affordable options, and this one is the Shield batting pad. So it's the third highest in the range. It's sort of a mid-range batting pad, I'd say. Certainly the price, which we'll talk about later, it's relatively comparable to other mid-range pads. And I quite like them. I think it's a nice look. Certainly, I've got them on. They are quite comfortable, actually, is one thing I'll talk about going forward. The straps are a little bit longer than they were on the King batting pad, certainly, and I do think that's a more comfortable fit for me. I'd say I've got fairly standard size legs. They're not big and they're not skinny, and these are much more comfortable, so that's something worth considering. They're also a fairly traditional look. And the one thing that's a little bit unique is this offset knee roll. If you look at it from a straight on point, the knee roll isn't quite lined up, it's slightly to one side, which I think is quite clever, because you are obviously, if you wear them on the correct angle, such as here, you are more likely to be hit, as these right-hander, the bowling coming from here, you're more likely to be hit this side than this inner side. So it means that you've shifted the protection over. So it's something quite unique, I think. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I know Kookaburra does a similar thing with the instep, but I've never seen it on the knee roll. So credit to a small brand like Ganador for making some changes like that. So in terms of the pad, you've got a 3K in here, central area, and then you go to foam. Foam obviously is a little bit of a cheaper material, and therefore that's why it is on use here. However, foam does have the benefit, and again, this whole side wing is foam, there's no cane there, does have the high density foam, has the benefit of making these pads light. They're under 870, I think 867 grams each when we weighed them, which is a light pad. So if you are looking for something that has decent protection, won't blow the budget, fairly traditional look, and is light, these are a very good option for you guys. So we'll now flip over to the inside as we do, and this is, again, you'll know if you've watched my King review, the Ganador King batting pads, which you should if you haven't, this is going to be my criticism. They just look cheap. And I think that is a criticism, because no branding here. I wouldn't even mind no branding, that's fine. But using mesh here, which is a very cheap, the cheapest material you can use on a pad that's a mid-range, isn't great. It's slightly more acceptable than using it on the King, which is more expensive. But even so, I would expect a little bit more. So we'll start here. You've got the, again, the mesh here, which is great for airflow, like I said in the last video. It means that you are going to stay nice and cool when wearing these, but they're not going to necessarily be the hardest wearing, which I didn't mention in that King video, because if these start getting dirty, you can't wipe them down like you can with a leather or a PU facing. You can't really wash them. It's not the hardest wearing. Straps are nicely padded though, which I think is a good touch. Not all pads in this price range do have nice padded straps, which is good. And you've again got the reinforcement here, which I think is nice. These are a very similar pad. Certainly the interior is identical to the King pretty much. Again, you've got the same knee cup, you've got the same locator. I mean, these materials here, I know it's a PU facing, but it's a cheap PU. It's a very kind of, you can hear that kind of synthetic, chemically almost plasticky feel to this. It's not great. I just think that there could have been, for the price, a little bit of a higher quality material used there, and then obviously you've got the mesh here. But I'm not all down on these, because for the price they are very light, they're very comfortable, they do sit nicely on the leg, and I love this kind of shifted top hat section. I love that it's not completely aligned. And the protection, which is obviously something very important, is pretty good as well, as I'll show you now with the mallet test. So we'll start off with the foam sections. Now I wouldn't recommend these for kind of international or county level players, but they certainly don't lose any protection if you're an average sort of club cricketer playing at a decent standard. You can hear the difference. So this is the foam, this is the cane, and then this is the foam. You can certainly hear the difference, but there's no big sort of protection difference. Now on the knee, and then the top hat again has got 3 canes and then 3 foams as well, so if you just knock it there. So I do certainly really like the protection, especially the top hat is very good, and I like the fact it's shifted over. So in terms of price, guys, these are It's Just Cricket selling for just below the £72 mark. So while they're not the cheapest pad around, certainly, I do think their lightweight and their comfort makes up for the fact that perhaps the materials aren't as good quality as I'd have liked. So there you go, guys. Do check out my other Ganador pads videos. These are the Shield batting pads. Subscribe to our channel. They're a solid, lightweight batting pad. I do think pretty good value for money, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you soon.